G'day guys, and today Shorty and I are doing our tips for round 15 of the Toyota AFL season. Is that correct, mate?
It is, mate.
Beautiful. I usually get it wrong, so I had to clarify that. The first game, well, just before we get to the first game, how did we go on the weekend?
I think I had 7.
Seven, yep.
So, yeah, I can't really remember. But I'm pretty sure you said you had 1 extra than me and you told me you got 8, so...
Yeah, I guess we were so close to the 9 and just slowly creeping back, matey.
Yeah,
I'll put it on the down low.
close.
Yeah, we'll check it out next week, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Let's
good,
get
mate.
the tips. So, Port Adelaide and Collingwood at Adelaide Oval. Big game here.
It's massive,
Sort of.
Yeah, no, I've tipped Port Adelaide here.
This bloke rates the Pies really highly.
No, it's got nothing to do with the Pies, to be honest. I just think with what happened last week and that, there'll be so much for Port Adelaide to play for.
Are they out of finals contention, though?
Probably. I mean, pretty close. Yeah.
I'd have to say so.
Yeah, but I think it's more than finals contention and stuff. I think, Phil Walsh was at the club for 10, 11 years, I think. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
they, of course, played Thursday before it happened. So they're the only club who hasn't played, aside from Geelong and Adelaide. But I just think they'll get up for that reason. And also just slightly because the Pies have had a couple of really big matches against Fremantle and Hawthorn. I think they might be a tad tired.
That's a good point, mate. I've gone with the Pies by 12 points. They travel away quite nicely.
Yeah.
And Port Adelaide, of course, haven't been in great form lately. Took it up to the Swans, but how do we know how good Sydney are going at the moment? So that's another tough one. But Pies have been in really good form. Had a few close ones, and they need to win a big one if you call this game big for them, which I guess it is. So
Yeah.
We'll go with the Pies there, just. So
Nice,
there's possibly our only different one. Let's see. Richmond and Carlton at the MCG, always a big one between these two sides. Carlton had a big winning streak over those years from like 2008 to... No, that was when the Tigers won last before another time. But no, Carlton got the job done against them in recent years, but the last year or two, the Tigers have gotten back on the bandwagon and on the winning board, so...
And I think they'll keep going, mate. I think they'll beat it fairly comfortably. 28 points. The Blues have been better under Barker and continue to be competitive at least, and a couple of wins along the way. But the Tigers seemingly the real deal.
Yeah, they're going all right.
Starting to beat sides that are above them and that they should beat. So I think they will do so once again. Yeah.
Well, speaking of just, I've gone for the Tigers by 3 points. Just. Well, I think it'll be a close one because Carlton have shown they've been in really good form, and again, you never know what Richmond can dish up because they just beat the Giants, and we expected them to get rid of them nice and not easily, but comfortably enough, and it was a close one. So I think it'll be along those lines again. Again, they don't always win the games that they should win, and don't win generally in the margin that they should, but the margin's much of a muchness, as we say each week.
Yeah.
Tigers just. Essendon and Melbourne at the MCG. The D's have a great record against Essendon in general.
Yeah, and I think off the back of what the Bombers dished up today, it was... I didn't see it, but it sounded like one of the worst modern day performances ever. It was just, not taking too much away from St Kilda, who are obviously very good, but it sounded like they gave up. Not often does an AFL team just throw a towel in, but it sounded like they gave up. But I'm going to tip the D's by, I think I wrote down 12 points, but I'll probably be a little bit more than that depending on the Bombers' confidence levels.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the Demons should get a win here.
Awesome, mate. I've gone with the Demons by 34 points. They've done pretty well this year and had some pretty spirited performances throughout the season. Got a bit touched up by West Coast, which I guess was always going to happen, but yeah, the Bombers are going that badly at the moment, and I think the Demons in general have a great record against them. They've even beaten the Bombers when they've been the best team in the competition, so that says something. So I think they'll win nice and easily, I think. Yeah.
Very nice, mate.
Cool. I've gone... next one. I always say I've gone before I should. The Western Bulldogs and the Gold Coast at Kazali Stadium, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, this one.
Oh, the Suns are back, mate. Abbott's back.
The Suns are back.
Finals now. I'm only just kidding. The Dogs will win this one, surely. Where is Kazali Stadium? Is that somewhere north?
Oh, I guess it's close to Gold Coast.
Yeah, absurd.
I'll say near Queensland, man.
Yeah. I think the Dogs will still win. I've tipped them by 16 points. They're looking very good. You just never know what they're going to dish up, but at some point throughout the match, they're very impressive, I guess. So,
yeah, sure.
I don't think the Suns are just going to turn it around out of nowhere. They were better, but North were pretty disappointing. So I think Western Bulldogs here. What do you reckon?
It's tough to say because I didn't actually watch the North Melbourne Gold Coast game. Barely seen any games this
right.
week. We've barely seen any games this weekend, but I've gone with the Dogs just by 6 points. Not sure what to expect out of this game. I wouldn't have thought Gold Coast could turn it around that quickly against a decent side, the Western Bulldogs, and at Kazali Stadium. You never know what you're going to get there. But I think last year it was the Dogs winning when Gary was injured, so it's a tough one to tell, but Dogs just to save myself there. But it'll be intriguing, no doubt. Speaking of intriguing contests, mate, the next one, North Melbourne, Geelong at Etihad Stadium. The Cats will not play in about 20 days once this rolls around.
Yeah, it's the toughest tip of the week, I reckon. And
I reckon you could be right.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons. I mean, what are North Melbourne? What are they? Let's be honest. And who knows what they're going to dish up sometimes. And you could nearly say the same for us,
You got the two most unpredictable teams playing each other almost.
And that in the fact that we haven't played for so long. I think Bartel was looking almost certain to come back, so that helps. But
Does Clark come back?
Who
knows?
Maybe. But
I'll go with maybe.
I've tipped North Melbourne by 1 point, just because I couldn't split them really. I have as little confidence in both really.
Nah, fair enough.
I just think, especially at Etihad, I think North Melbourne have more scope to be better than us, I feel. I think if they are switched on and we're switched on, they'll probably beat us anyway. So
cool.
We may be a tad scratchy, who knows?
Yeah, it's very tough. I'm going with North Melbourne by 8 points. They don't lose two in a row too often, so that's probably one of my big factors of tipping them. And we've got no form line except for a very disappointing loss to Melbourne.
Yeah.
So that's a very tough one. I mean, they're both as unpredictable as each other, as I've said, and it's so tough to know what you're going to get from each week from them. So North at Etihad generally do okay. We did get in there last year, I think. We got in there both games last year, and then at the MCG it wasn't quite the same, but anyway. North Melbourne I think. Don't know what to expect out of it, but be good to get a win.
I hope so.
Let's hope so, mate. West Coast and Adelaide at Domain Stadium. Sort of a reasonably big contest.
Yeah,
we'll see how we go here.
Tough to really say much about it, isn't it? I think West Coast to win by 36 points, but
who knows what to expect? What Adelaide will
exactly.
Put
I
up.
mean, is Scott Camperelli going to coach him?
Scott
I don't know. Are some players going to be right to play? I'm not sure. I'd probably tip West Coast anyway, just because of how good they're going. But the circumstances around the Adelaide Footy Club makes it tough to have any idea. They could come out and play like men possessed, or they could be broken men, or they could not play. I don't know what's going to happen really. So Eagles for mine regardless. But what do you reckon?
Nice, mate. I've gone with West Coast by 29 points. I think being at Domain Stadium always helps them out. So they've had a good record there this year. Not so in previous years, but they've flicked the switch this year. Adelaide, I don't know what to expect from them. I don't know what kind of response I'm expecting from them, and who knows what they'll put out to us. A bit like North Melbourne and Geelong, I suppose, but I think West Coast's game plan almost stands up to most of the teams, especially around them and below them.
Yeah, very cool.
So the next one, GWS and St Kilda at Spotless. Interesting contest again.
Yeah, very much.
There's been a lot of tough ones this round, we thought.
Yeah, I would have loved to see the St Kilda Essendon game. I was watching some local footy, but I would have loved to see whether they were very good, which I'm sure in parts they were, but how bad were Essendon? That's, it's always a tough one, how good a side is, how poor a side is, whatnot.
We'll find out this week.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Giants by just the 2 points, mainly because of the home ground advantage. I think I don't have too many stats to back it up, but I would imagine, and just from memory, the Saints have been pretty competitive in Melbourne, and some of their better performances have certainly come there, but when a young and developing side has to travel, especially early on, it can be quite difficult. So I think even a trip up there could test them, and I think the Giants are starting to figure out how to play without Mumford, and were better against the Tigers.
They were, certainly. I've gone with the Giants by 11 points. I think mainly just because it's a Spotless.
Yeah.
If it was at Etihad or something like that, I'd probably lean towards the Saints. So they play, they're almost like a different team, but like Brisbane, they just play well at their home turf, and there's no real other reason. I think their midfield generally does a good job, and they'll be two pretty good midfields going up against each other, you'd have to say.
Yeah.
So I'll be intrigued to see how the Giants address. I think they've still got Patful out and Phil Davis out, so don't know how the key defensive stocks will go. But sometimes it doesn't always matter. Like Hawthorn, it's a different context, I know. But
West Coast as well.
West Coast as well. They've had key forwards out and key defenders out, and still almost they play that team defence almost. So there you go. Giants just for me. But the next one we've got, and what a contest it will be, Hawthorn and Fremantle, the 2013 Grand Final rematch at Aurora Stadium. Might nearly say the tip.
Yeah, I don't know why it's in Tasmania, but I guess you can't change it halfway through the year, can you?
No, you cannot.
I've gone the Hawks by 18 points here. The Dockers are just struggling to get out of second gear, aren't they, at the moment? They're just sort of, we're waiting for them to really pump out a big one and get back to some really good form, but they're just sort of getting the job done. It's like, are they in a mid-season training load or mini pre-season that clubs sometimes do? But I've got no idea. But they're a bit slow and sluggish at the moment. And the Hawks are just getting the job done. They're pretty impressive at times, but they just have that air about them that when they need to answer, they do. Like they did against Collingwood in that last quarter, I guess. So
Absolutely.
Can't tip against them, I guess.
I would have to agree with you, mate. I've gone with the Hawks by 19 points. At Aurora Stadium certainly gives them that advantage. I don't think Fremantle beat them there before, and Fremantle have been in second gear lately. I have to agree with you there. They haven't been that impressive against, I guess, any team. I mean, Brisbane were basically level with them at three-quarter time.
Yeah.
I think it was about 7 points or something like that. I was watching a bit of the last quarter, but yeah, they haven't been that impressive at home or away. So, and Hawthorn, arguably the best team in the competition. And I think Fremantle will come up for their second loss.
Got that, nicely done.
Thanks, buddy. And the final one, Brisbane Lions up against the Swans at the Gabba.
Yeah, it's interesting being at the Gabba. Like you said before, the Lions are a different side there, and they were pretty handy against the Dockers, but I'm not going to tip them though. I've gone the Swans by 5 goals. They'll get Tippett back, they'll get Franklin back, which helps a lot, especially against the Brisbane backline, which is certainly not ready to take on those sort of names. So I just think...
I thought so.
Yeah, I think Brisbane at times might be impressive and show something and certainly come out with some good effort, which is all you can ask, but I think the Swans have just got too many winners on the whole field in comparison to the Lions to cause an upset here.
Spot on, mate. I've gone with the Swannies by 24 points. I don't think it'll be a huge margin, but again, you never quite know. It depends what side shows up for both sides. So Sydney, as you said, they just have so many winners over every line and just have a team of quality players, and they're a premiership contending team against the worst team in the competition. So I think that is enough for itself. But I think Sydney will do it reasonably easy. We'll go with that.
Nice, mate. And you are the tipping master of late, so I'll take your word for it.
In terms of the margins, what do you reckon? No, well, maybe just in general.
Oh, margin, much of muchness, isn't it, mate? Who knows? As long as you get the tip right, that's all you need.
Yeah, well, that's it. We don't get any special prizes for getting the margin right. Although, I think
unless you're on the Herald Sun tipping site, which I nearly guessed it the other week.
Yeah, I was happy to get the North Melbourne and Essendon one right a few weeks back, but that's about it. I think we've got one each for the exact right margin. Maybe too few, I can't remember, but there you go.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up because that's just mumbo jumbo.
That's our tips for round 15. Yeah, we love to just talk about nothing. Yeah. So it's all good. So those are our tips of the week. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to comment your tips for round 15. And don't forget to share around to all your mates and subscribe as well. It's one of the most important buttons. So get on the subscribe button, guys, because we love subscribers.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, listen to Shorties all over it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys all soon.